Here we go. Number 6. Alright. Welcome back to the Biblical Banter Podcast. Episode number 6. We're doing it on art in Presbyterian churches, probably just art in churches in general. In case there's anyone new watching, my name's Dan, and this is Shadrach. So, let's get into it. This came from a question on Instagram.
Indeed.
Basically
And a comment.
That's not actually what it was. It was a comment. Yes, it was a comment that wasn't the Instagram thing at all. Basically asking about art in Protestant churches.
Specifically Protestant?
Yeah. So like why isn't there any art in Protestant churches anymore?
Right.
So done a bit of research on it.
Okay.
It's not that there isn't any art in Protestant churches.
Yeah.
There is art, but from seeing the difference, from looking it up, it's more of life art. So it's more based on like people's everyday like work. So you'll see art or like paintings or whatever sort of depicting people doing what they used to do in everyday life. Let's see. The Reformation in the 1600s.
Yeah.
Brought photos of everyday life. So from whenever I was looking at it, it was things that was like there was one of a woman, and she was sort of like sorting wheat. For example, what else have we got here?
Is that kind of leading into the idea of the Protestant work ethic? The Protestants were quite famous for...
I've no idea. I didn't go that far into it, but they were trying to get away from the standard like photos of Jesus and the saints, because Protestants sort of wanted to separate themselves from Catholics. So they started going down a different route where it's like, it says further on down here where it was like images and icons were distracting, and they don't want to have them being like a distraction from preaching the word. So goes down the whole thing of Martin Luther.
Oh,
not to get confused with
Martin Luther
King. Yeah. It's not to get confused with him. So Lutherans, I think I'm saying that's right.
Yeah, Lutherans.
And anyway, made new art.
That's important thing to note. Like, if you see a Lutheran church, you could mistake it for Catholic.
Yes.
All the things you're going to see that's different in Lutheran church, despite the fact they have these old classic, proper looking, ones, is you're going to see no statues.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff. It'll be. Yeah.
So Lutherans made new art, but struggled to defend it against Calvinism. So Calvinist on Lutheran, iconoclasm or whatever I think it's called, iconoclasm.
Yeah.
In the second half of the century, so it was going on to what I got here, 1560 to 1619.
Mm-hmm.
Then I seen something called the Belding Storm or Bleeding Storm, something like that. Belding Storm, which is a large wave of mob destruction of images in the church fittings through Low Countries. So I had to look in to see what these Low Countries were. Mm-hmm. Immediately, whenever I thought Low Countries, I was thinking sort of third world, sort of down there, sort of Low Countries. But
does it mean low church? Is that what it means?
No. So whenever there was like a separation that separated in between north and south. So you'll find like southern European countries were more Catholic, and northern European countries were more Protestant. Mm-hmm. So it's saying Low Countries being the southern ones, but whenever you're saying that, it's the likes for modern, because it'll give you a list of countries were back then. Mm-hmm. But modern countries would have included the likes of Belgium, France, and Western Germany,
right,
which is obviously isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently there was this whole big wave of a time where they were going through destroying these images and church buildings throughout these lower countries, and then going on it says images and icons were distractions, or they were saw as distractions that would have got in the way of just preaching the word, which is what the likes of Presbyterians would firmly believe, because they're very much in like nothing gets in the way. Like, it's the word of God. That's the main thing. That's the most important thing. So that's why you wouldn't really see much of this big flamboyant sort of like Catholic churches or Orthodox churches with their saints on the walls and their whatever.
And also, there's a practical purpose as well. It's not the Protestant isn't going to go and venerate a saint.
Yeah.
You know? So there's no. They wouldn't see a need for it, and they didn't. And again, they were against the whole praying to saints and all of that. There, praying to Mary, all that. So it makes sense that they would pull that out from their theology. You can see where that's coming from.
So there was another thing that I read as well. It was something on the lines of, they're called icons, like your sort of the big photos of your saints and whatever, like are icons. I'm not sure if it was Martin Luther himself, but after that Reformation of the church, there was a group of people that gathered together. I forget the name of them, but they gathered together. And they were like, right, okay, we want to separate ourselves and make ourselves like different from the Catholic Church. And by doing that, they were like, right, well, we're going to get rid of these icons and all that sort of stuff, because we don't want that leading down into possible idolization, like making them idols instead of icons. So they didn't want to run the risk of that happening. So I guess that was just another sort of excuse for them to get rid of icons. Bit of fluff.
No, well, I mean, it's also as well, because like the theology, like the theology that would have came out of Luther and Calvin and the rest of them would have been more sola fide, sola scriptura, all that there. All the ideas of grace alone, faith alone, all those hardcore kind of Protestant standpoints for that. Right? Yeah. So they would have wanted to have made everything around that fit that narrative. And so when you're going into a church, say, that has all the saints and all the icons and that, a Protestant's not going to see the purpose for that. They'll say, well, this is all just either idol worship, or they'll say, we don't need any of this because it's all faith alone, it's all grace and all of that. And so that's really the core. It's like it's the theology really that drove to remove all those things. So the question is, with art then, and beauty, we've a problem when we do that. I think the Lutherans are pretty cool for this though, because their churches are awesome. But they don't have all the statues and stuff like that there. Whereas the Orthodox church that I went to, you've got icons everywhere. And I went to the mission parish as well, but they managed to turn this one hall room into this brilliant class looking thing with all the icons and all.
I think it was the Lutherans which are the ones who sort of brought the newer art.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
pretty sure the Lutherans are
like they don't have like Mary or anything like that. I don't think.
So the Lutherans would say like probably I think they were like technically like their first kind of real Protestant sect. Maybe you could say, because I mean I'm named after Luther, obviously. And then obviously over time we've kind of got to the point where Protestant churches, they don't have much real art or beauty about them.
No, it's like you can walk into a shed and that's like
but
they don't care about the sort of look of the place. Exactly. It's like you're there to, which I mean I can get behind in terms of no, you don't need all this big fancy artwork and you don't need all these statues to worship or praise God or learn about God. Like, you don't need that at all. But it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah, exactly.
It does look nice.
No, that's the thing. It's like, I do respect that the Protestant view is more just like, doesn't matter if it's a shed, we're going to praise God.
It's bare bones.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But I feel like when the resources are there, when it's a possibility, if it's going to be the place of worship and the house of God, why shouldn't it look beautiful and reflect that? And also, you remember as well, if you're trying to get new members in and stuff, if they see this beauty, that can...
It does bring people in for the wrong reasons.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that our church looks nice, come to ours. But it's more like this reverence and respect for the traditions and God himself by having that, and you reflect that in the church's architecture and structure.
Yeah.
So what's your like personal opinion on it? Do you think that like modern Protestant churches should be trying to maybe beautify a bit more, or you think?
I don't think that they should do. In my personal opinion, I like it. I like the look of it. I like. There was times where I went into. I've been into a few places. There was a cathedral in Germany. Forget the name of it now. There's this beautiful cathedral in Germany. I walked into, and it is just, you're sort of just taken back. Like, you're not used to it. Well, at least I wasn't anyway. And I walked in and was like, wow, like, this is class. I think this is amazing. And you sort of, personally, it's like you can feel that presence.
It feels like you're on a holy ground.
Yeah, like you feel like a presence of God. It's like just walking into the place. Not to say that it can't happen with like a modern, like more modern church or whatever. It's not saying you can't do that, but I think that sort of has part of that effect on it. Especially when you're looking around, you're seeing these big, beautiful statues and other, like if you look at what's that place called?
What place?
The Pope's house.
Vatican?
The Vatican?
Yeah.
If you look at the Vatican or whatever, like, not the Vatican itself, what's that? It's
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. What is it? Where are we going to be? Completely going up and down. Basilica?
Basilica.
I've never seen
St. Peter's Basilica is just like, wow.
Yeah, that's like a wonder of the world. Like, it's something
nuts. Like, and that's sort of, you look at that, you're like, gorgeous, but like, at the same time, it's like, is that needed?
I don't think the need is necessarily the point there.
Don't need it at all. Like, the Vatican has millions worth in art, like, locked up in its storage closets.
There's also practical reasons, though, for having a church that's massive, right? Because as for the sound, because remember, normally the hymns will be sung, and so you have the better acoustics in the bigger kind of churches and stuff as well. Also, sometimes they might have, the organs and that all set up.
There's obviously, there's reasoning behind
capacity as well.
There's reasoning behind it, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it doesn't really matter what it sounds like. That's the whole point of it.
But why not make it sound good? So.
But if you're a woeful singer, you can still sing praise. It doesn't matter.
No, that's true. Like, I can't sing.
Yeah, exactly. But you're still going to worship. Yeah. So it's like, obviously these churches and cathedrals and everything, they were all built flipping donkeys ago, and like to make them now would be a fair penny.
Oh, yeah.
I was seeing a thing where it was one of these cathedrals or whatever, and it was looking at the dome, one of the big domes on it, and it was saying that the concrete that it's made out of like, there's some other things like lime, like something from limestone or something, and to do that now is worth a crazy penny because it's like it heals itself.
Yeah,
concrete that, like, if there's a crack in it, it like heals itself.
That's pretty.
Yeah. So I mean, back then they knew what they were at, but
see, as well, I'll say for a lot of Orthodox churches, right, they have a actual purpose for how they look.
Yeah.
So Orthodox churches, I believe
the big domes.
I have the big domes, the big kind of classic dome look. Yeah. But if you look at them, well, I'll take for example, I think it's St. Andrew's, Father Josiah Trenham. He is kind of a big Orthodox kind of like influencer is not the right word, but he has like a big YouTube channel, but he's the priest of that parish. And with him, they have like all the doors have certain saints on them, right, for certain reasons.
Yeah.
Like the entrance, for example, has the baptismal font there, and it's all beautiful and done up, but that's because to enter the church, into the body of Christ, you have to go through baptism, so there's the symbolic thing there. And then you have, even the shape of the baptism is in the shape of St. Andrew's cross. And then the Orthodox churches as well, they all face the east.
Yep.
Because that's where Eden was, and also that's where God said to come down from. And then on top of that, they actually kind of like baptize the building to enter it into the body of Christ, because it's meant to be that extension of the heavenly kingdom on earth. And so there's so much going on with one of those churches, and why it's set up the way it is, what icons they have up are purposely done for certain reasons. but they're not meant to distract necessarily. They're more there to. Oh, it's a good way to put it. Would be like the icons as well. Like one of the main reasons for those, it's like there's so many different scenes, there's so many different things. It's good to have an image there to go up and be like, all right, okay, this is the one I'm praying to. You know, there's that concentration and focus.
That's the thing that we'll always come to argue about, which is why do you have to pray?
Why do you have to pray?
You don't. Yeah. I think it's absolutely useless.
I don't.
Well, like, what's the point in praying to a saint when you can pray to God? Like, it doesn't matter. Pointless. But like, I know myself personally, if I was in one of those big massive churches, like during a service, I'm not going to be I'm not in the room. Like, I'm not listening to what's being said. I'm going to be standing there being like, wow, like look at this.
I know, but if you go to that church every Sunday, at some point you're going to be able to like concentrate, no problem. You know? No,
I don't think so. I think my tism would take a hold of me because I'd be looking up there and be like, oh, I didn't see that last week.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
You know what I mean?
No, I think as well, like with the Orthodox churches especially, like when you go in, the actual worship style is nothing like a Catholic or Protestant church. They're not the same. Whenever I went, honestly, I'd never seen anything like it before. And my mind was absolutely blown. And it was just in one hall with all the icons set up. And it's all participatory, so you're meant to go in and, you know, you join in with the readings and the singing. There's even one bit where you like literally kind of like read but sing the Nicene Creed together and stuff. But during worship in an Orthodox service, you can go up and venerate a saint or go out and do a prayer. Or you can leave or come in. You can come in at any time, basically leave at any time.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's this service that keeps going that people can come in and participate in and venerate and then move out, because that's actually the point of that service. And then of course you have divine liturgy and stuff. But the way these things are structured, like Orthodox churches don't have pews. The majority of them don't have pews. You're meant to stand. They have pews on the sides if you're absolutely knackered and you need to sit. But the whole church and the whole art and everything that's designed is specifically for worship and participating in it. So that's kind of why it is the way it is. And then again with the Catholics, they venerate statues instead of the icons, you see. So that's why they have all those. And again, you can have
but they don't kiss their statues.
Are you sure about
that? Yeah. Because their statues are like on the wall, they don't go up and like kiss their statues.
Well. Same thing.
No.
It's veneration.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only person should be praying to is God.
Well, a saint can take a prayer to God.
No. Well, my prayer can get to God on its own. Doesn't need a messenger. Doesn't need a postman. Yeah. Doesn't need a postman.
Well, I mean, you can pray to God too in Catholicism and Orthodoxy, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I need. For the rest of it, a waste of time in my eyes.
Yeah. I think we should do a video on that.
Yeah.
Just have a good argument, pure domestic on screen for your entertainment.
Yeah. But no, so...
well, tell me this, right? Why is there no, like, crosses, for example, in your church?
There is.
There is?
Yeah.
Where?
There's a cross right at the front.
What do you mean at the front?
There's a cross at the front of the church.
There is?
Yes, it's made out of wood. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have I walked past it? Have I seen that? Not those.
Oh, well, it's at the front. Well, it usually sits at the front anyway.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think maybe a few statues in there with a few icons on the go, get a good painting going. I ain't a bit blind.
Doesn't need that. I mean, there's some Protestant churches that would have like stained glass windows.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if you've seen like proper traditional Protestant churches, they are beautiful.
Yeah.
But they're devoid of statues and icons and art. It's just like the building is like awe-inspiring. Mm-hmm. But then it stops there.
Yeah. And that's a takeaway from the fact where like you should you pray to God. You don't need to pray to saints. That's the do that. You don't have to pray to like these saints like you're praying to God. Like that's what's the point in praying to these other like saints when you can just like pray to God?
Do you want me to actually answer?
No, there's no point. It's useless.
No, it isn't useless.
Yeah, it is pointless.
No, because I think it's...
No, because the explanation that you had before was, which is essentially like, oh yeah, if you pray to this person, then it means more. Which is basically saying prayers are better than others.
No, that's not what I said. Yeah. Oh yeah, prayers aren't equal.
Yeah, they are.
Well, if they were, then why?
My prayers is as equal as yours.
Well, then why, when you...
Because it's in numbers, it's not anything else.
No, but what's the point in you going and asking someone to pray for you?
It's like a numbers thing.
So more prayers is better than one prayer? More prayers is better than one prayer?
Well, if you ask, all right, if you ask someone for something once and don't hear a reply, right, do you just leave it at that? Or do you pray about it again? And you pray about it again?
Well, yeah.
Well, there you go.
That doesn't mean that having more people praying for you isn't better than one.
Well, if I send you one message on your phone, compared to if I just keep sending you messages, you're eventually going to like see it or get annoyed. Like if you're busy, you get one message.
I know, but you're saying you need to spam God's message box.
No, I'm not saying you need to spam it. What I'm trying to say is it's like it's better in numbers.
No, but like, well then, if it's better in numbers, then praying to saints is a good idea.
No, it's not, because that's one person and they're saying that this
no,
person
no.
is better.
When you pray to saints, you ask them to pray for you, and you can say, oh,
yeah, but what's the point in asking like a saint to pray?
Because they're at the throne of God.
Or you just talk to God.
Yeah, you can do that, but remember, is it James or is it Corinthians? I don't know. God hears the prayers of the righteous, and so not all prayers are equal, and saints are at the throne of God and are righteous. So their prayers have more to it.
Right, so at that point then, what's the point in praying to God? Because you can just pray to a saint, which makes it better.
No, because you need to be praying to God. Like, that should be your first and foremost.
I know, but you're not righteous, so what's the point in praying to God if he's not going to hear your unrighteous prayer?
No. You pray to God as well. You pray to the saints as well.
No, you just pray to one. Big man himself. Big man himself loves it. Yeah.
I'm never going to change your mind. That's why I don't.
Nope. You catch me praying to a saint, that will be...
That would be quite a...
I probably started to drink again.
I would love to see that though.
You want to see me go into a dark place and start drinking again? That's kind of sad.
No,
I might go back to my alcoholism. That's kind of harsh, Charles.
Right, well, bringing it back to the art then.
What about it?
You want churches to be ugly so people don't pray to saints?
No. I don't think you need saints up there, but you can still have nice pictures.
Wouldn't it be better to have statues and stuff? Or icons or something?
But why? You don't need them.
Who said anything about need? You don't need a beautiful church building.
That's what I said.
You don't need running shoes.
I said that at the start.
It's nice to have.
People die wanting, Charles. People die wanting.
Yeah, well... Yeah, I'm completely... Obviously, I think you do have that more Protestant mindset where all these types of things...
I don't know. Like,
I'm more
things are nice. Like... A church, like, it'd be a lot nicer if I had a wee stained glass window here and there.
Just one.
Yeah.
Just one of them. Just get one taken out and put it
yeah, just the one where you can look at it and be like, that's nice.
Yeah.
No, I think that there's a line. I think churches need to put a bit more effort in. You do
want it to be nice. Like, it should be nice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see what the problem. Like, I mean, it's more inviting and also I would say as well, it's more reverent to God if you can make it more beautiful to do so.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this is meant to be where people are going to worship the Lord, so it should reflect that. It should look like that, is what I would say. Now, that doesn't mean it has to, right? So if you're in the middle of nowhere and all you have is a shack, well then fine, you know what I mean? But if a church, say, is able to beautify a bit more, I think it should. I think that's money well spent. I think that's resources well put into, you say.
Or you could put that money into, bettering other people's lives.
Well, we should do that first, like, to be fair, but that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like, you think about the amount of money that these churches have spent on stuff.
But I mean, I also say as well, if you have like one of those classic churches, one of the big ones, it's meant to be a pillar of the community. It's a place that everyone can come to. It serves the community. Yeah. Remember we talked about this in our mega church one? Yeah. And so we want it to be a beacon, and that's kind of, there's reasons for it, like, but yeah, obviously helping the poor.
There's obviously reasons for it. Yeah. I think there's just that line. It's like where you're drawing the line. Like, how far is too far?
Yeah. Well, see, this is why I like the simplicity of Orthodox churches, because
they're not simple and flippant. They're just as colourful as Catholic churches.
Well, I mean, if
90 saints on the walls.
If people look up,
no one even knows who they are.
If you look up,
that's freaking Patrick.
Andrews,
don't even know who that is.
Right? You can see it's a beautiful building. It's beautiful architecture, but like it's not filled with stuff. The paintings are all over the walls and all that there.
Yeah.
But it's not like, say, like...
it doesn't have statues.
It's not like a Catholic church where, like, every single pillar has been handcrafted by someone in Italy. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a bit more of a middle ground.
Golden candle stands everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still carrying that big bee smoke machine.
Oh, what, the incense?
Yeah.
Wow.
No need for that either. Like.
No, that's good.
You don't need incense in your church. You ever heard of Febreze?
Febreze, you see, there you go. Just put a bit of Febreze and all that. No, incense is good.
It's pointless.
It's not pointless.
What's it for? What's incense going to do?
It's in the Old Testament.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the back for a reason.
No, to be fair, I'm not too sure about the incense one.
Yeah,
I don't know enough.
Don't need it.
Well, I could go and research and come back.
Don't need it.
No, well, I don't. It's not about need. I don't need to get over this idea that it's need. It's that why shouldn't we have it? Like, give me a reason not to have it.
Because if you want your to smell good in the church or whatever, stick a wee bit of Vicks Vapor rub on your chest so you can smell good. It's not about
smelling good. Like, that's really low level. There's reasons for these things. They're not. They're symbolic of different things.
Mm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like a demon thing or something. It's probably something to do with that.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, well, that's what the burning sage was.
Mm-hmm.
People burning sage, so it's probably got something to do with like something to do with spirits of some kind. Obviously, there's no bad spirits in the church, like, but
I don't think anything.
There's probably some spiritual aspect to it.
It probably is.
Looks cool though.
Does look cool. I have to. I'll look into it a wee bit more and bring it up next time.
Yeah.
But no, I think that an effort should be made.
No, they do. Like, they need to be brightened up a wee bit. Obviously, church we go to, they've got sort of just photos of Carrick around the place, which brightens the place up. Yeah, but I mean, you could probably put a bit of more effort in there and put like photos that are actually resemble faith of some kind.
Mm.
Don't know what that looks like, but that's not my job.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they do that. But the modern churches are just big brick buildings now, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's very disappointing.
Well, that's the thing. If the church is meant to be a holy building, then it should be set apart. Unless, of course, it's not possible to do, then it doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's because what I'm saying is, if it's within range of possibility, it should be as beautified as possible. And then if it's not within range of possibility, then no harm done. Do you know what I mean? But see, that's my Orthodox brain.
Yeah, no, it's weird. They do weird things.
They look cool though.
It's not the point. It's not the point.
No, I know it's not the point. I'm not trying to say that. I'm joking about it. But no, I do think that there's
Jesus walking around being like, do you know what? Gonna make this new church. Just I'm gonna throw a couple of those things in here just to make it look cool. Just to make it look cool.
I know, but Jesus didn't say go out of your way to make your church look dull.
No, I didn't say go and make it this big swanky danky dude. 24 carat crosses like all over the place either.
Well, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything like that in the Orthodox tradition, really. A lot of the churches are like
their candle stands tend to have like gold and all around them. Catholics are the worst for it. I know they're gold, aren't everyone's just covered in gold in Catholicism.
And there's going to be quite a lot of real extravagant stuff. Though, to be fair, that church has the resources to do that. So.
Yeah, because they stole them.
Oh, that's a pretty brave thing to say on a podcast, probably.
They did steal it all. The Roman Empire didn't die, it turned into the church.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, that's where all the Roman money is. That's where the Roman Empire money is. It's in the church, it's in the Vatican. In its chambers, whatever you call
that. I do really want to visit
the vaults.
The St. Peter's Basilica.
Basilica.
It looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know what? This is gonna offend some people, like, but the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, quite underwhelming.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Outside of it, stunning.
Like, and it's not that the inside's not stunning. Like when you look up, and the way the glass windows, like, were they like changing colour depending on where the sun was or something?
I don't know, but they had like was it animals or something? They had like big photos of animals like up on the ceiling to represent like some of the apostles. Like one was John, one was
each spire and all is meant to be like one of the. I think the middle one's going to be Jesus or something.
Yeah,
but the thing that blew my mind right about that church is how absolutely awestruck you are. See, remember when we first came out? Yep. So we arrived at the train station and we just came out, and the minute we walked out, there it was, and I had never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's insane.
But when we got in, I know this is such a Charlie comment, but the floor was so underwhelming. It was such a basic looking floor. Yeah. I expected the floor to be made of like the finest marble. But to be fair, that makes sense to me. No one's looking at the floor. You're looking up. It's massive. The floor's everywhere, and it just looked so like when you looked up, I seen some of the best architecture my eyes had ever laid eyes, I'd ever seen. And then whenever I looked down, I was just like, that's such a basic floor. Like there's just.
But you should be looking up, praising God.
Well, yeah, obviously. But yeah, and then there was some weird art in there as well.
There was some weird stuff,
strange things in there.
Yeah, but that's yeah. But that was very underwhelming. There was the cathedral that I went to with our friend of mine in Germany, Cologne. I forgot what it's called. But it's all like charred in the top. It's all black in the top after the Brits went over and started blowing the place up in World War II. It's all burning fire. Mm-hmm. But it's the only thing that was left standing was the church.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but see going in there, oh my word.
Amazing.
Oh my. It's better than Sagrada Familia. Outside.
Really?
Yeah, outside. It's not as sort of extravagant.
Yeah.
Still gorgeous, but see, going inside,
beautiful.
Stunning, yeah. They had I think it had a thing for saints too. Like,
was it Catholic?
So when you were walking around the place, if you were walking down the sides, they had sort of tombs and stuff for saints, and whatever. So you could see but the tombs had the carving of the saints on top of the tombs and all. Right, that's class. That's actually insane. So the top floor is for sort of everyday public access for people, including tourists. But they have a bit downstairs as well, into the basement, where it's only for local services, so they can go and have a local service and go down and pray and whatever, out of the way of tourists. And you should see it. It has this wee window looking down. And it's like another church.
Yeah, sure. The Sagrada Familia had that, do you remember?
It's like another church.
Do you not remember?
I know this thing's bigger.
Bigger than that?
Yeah, it's 2 times the size.
Whoa.
It just opened up. It was if you were walking into the church, you look up, you're basically looking at that again, but you're looking down. It's the same.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, insane. I want to go back here.
I actually want to see that.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you know one thing I want to mention though about the icons, right? And I'm hoping maybe this might.
Your idols?
No, they're not my idols. We do not idolize the saints. Don't start. So, here's one thing. Do you know the iconography that the Orthodox have? There's an element of that comes from the tradition of the fact that why people couldn't read or write or anything back in the day. Yeah. So what the Orthodox do is they don't just do it with icons. We have images. Say the image of the Garden of Eden or the image of the crucifixion, that type of thing.
Gifts.
And basically, what these things were for was so when people came in who couldn't read or write, they could visualize it and then could ask questions about it. And that was something that was actually one of not the main, but one of the motivators for having iconography and the beatification and these types of things.
Well, that's okay. That's perfectly fine, but you don't need to kiss them.
That's just showing honor and respect.
I think praying to them's enough.
I know, but you need to remember
you need to kiss them, and then on top of that, you're kissing other people's smoochy marks. They don't get cleaned.
That's ridiculous.
They don't get cleaned.
They do.
They don't. On the same day, so you kiss that.
You don't icon. Have to kiss it.
You kiss that icon.
You can make the sign of the cross.
You kiss that icon, and then someone else walks up behind you that's already been dead old before you've kissed it, has it? No.
That's silly thing to say.